Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mide Nancy. I'm super excited to have you guys on the channel today. Thank you for tuning in. As you can see today, I have a guest. If you are not new to the channel, you've probably seen her before. We've made a video together. I'm going to link the video up here, so make sure you click to go watch that video.
You have to.
But if you're new, I'm going to allow her to introduce herself again. And yeah.
Okay, so my name is Josephine and I'm a Nigerian 100 living in Luxembourg. I was here in Lille for some time, so I came visiting. So nice to meet you all.
She actually came for our graduation.
Oh yes, why did I skip that information?
Leave congratulations in the comment section. So she graduated. Okay, in today's video, we are going to be talking about living in France versus living in Luxembourg. What are like the similarities, the differences, some of the juicy things that you need to know, some of the things that are not so juicy. So if this looks like something you're interested in watching, then let's get into the video. So why am I making this video? If you're new to the channel, you probably don't know, but I lived in Luxembourg for 6 months, and that was it last year? No, 2 years ago.
In 2022.
And I made like videos about living in Luxembourg, and from that video I've gotten lots of requests on, making another video on living in France versus living in Luxembourg. So I came back to France since 2022 September, and I've been in France while my friend here moved to Luxembourg last year in March. And so that's like a year
already.
Okay, so my friend is living in Luxembourg. So when she came visiting, I'm like, okay, let's do this video.
Let's do this.
No one can do it better. Like, it's best I have someone who is currently living there. So without further ado, let's start talking. Very first question I'm going to ask just Jojo is what were your expectations moving to Luxembourg? Did you have like some expectations that those expectations have been met, or do you have some expectations that you had but they haven't been met yet?
So frankly speaking, because I'm a free mover, I like to discover things as they go. I didn't get to hear so much about Luxembourg. I made my research before leaving, and I just saw that it was a very expensive city. That's one of the major things I saw about Luxembourg, that it's very expensive. So when I got there, it was more of this that I saw.
That expectation.
So that
confirmed
that confirmed the expectation and the research I made. And also the people are more friendly compared to France, and I think this is because the country is home to big banks and big enterprises, and it attracts a lot of cross-border
international
yes like
trade.
Germany, Switzerland, Belgium, France, like people from these places come to work there. So
I think even people from like Romania, Italy,
exactly, yeah, Greece, Portugal,
Greece.
Italy, yeah, we have a lot of that there. The air and the atmosphere was very multicultural. It was normal to see people from different countries there. Oh, where are you from? Nigeria. Oh, cool.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's not like rare, like everyone's like, you definitely
it's normal because you have a lot of nationalities there, unlike in France where when somebody asks you where are you from, you're like Nigeria, there's usually further questions.
Yeah,
like we're in Nigeria. I don't know Nigeria.
Next question I'm going to ask you is that, like, having lived in Luxembourg for 1 year, are there some things about France that you missed that you don't have in Luxembourg? Why are you laughing? Because there's nothing. Well, I have personal things that I have some things that I can't mention.
I'm trying to think. Maybe, yes, I remember there's something that I missed about France, which is Action.
Okay. Action. Oh, they still have Action in Luxembourg. I always go to Action when I was in Luxembourg.
That's unless you want to go into the French. Like, I wanted Action in Luxembourg itself.
Yes, there's Action in Luxembourg. Action is a store. Sorry for everyone who don't know. Action is a store, like, and in this stores, like in this particular store, you find like really
a lot of
decorations and things that you can afford. But the Action in Luxembourg, the prices were not the same.
Cannot be the same.
Yeah, it was like kind of like maybe a few cents more expensive.
Or €1. Maybe.
€1, no, €1 is kind of maybe for some certain things €1 more expensive, but I still found Action.
I didn't. I searched. I didn't. I even asked I even asked the people around that, do you know Action? They're like, oh.
I'm gonna check now, like, just to be sure, because I went, like, it's a far place. There are even two different. Yeah, I always go to the both Actions. See, this one is in Beijing. Most people going to these Actions in Luxembourg, they are like people that know about Action. Like, I don't think Luxembourgish people will
so maybe that's
necessarily want to go to
that's
Action.
Why. I think that's why. But that's the only thing I think I missed about France. Other
You
than
don't miss
that,
your perfume store that you've been coming to France to buy. So
I mean, I could do it online if I wanted,
but
and even if I'm in France, I could be in another city and not find the
and
store
don't
because
find
the
it.
store is rare.
Okay.
So
In my own case, I think one thing that when I was in Luxembourg, I missed was the opportunity to explore different parts of like the tourism. In Luxembourg, there's just like one thing, and
yeah.
except you want to keep hiking with friends every time, going into like the mountains and all those
So in
things.
other words, you're trying to say Luxembourg is boring.
Yeah,
and
kind
France
of
is
boring.
more.
Like Luxembourg is a little bit boring. Like you can explore Luxembourg in one day, 1 week,
That's not a
and then
lie.
that's all. Except you want to keep going to the same place over and over again. I mean,
it's
if you're
giving the rich vibe, so
yeah, it's
you can
giving
get
rich
the money
vibe.
and go explore
Yeah,
somewhere else.
you can. Yeah, that's what a lot of people living in Luxembourg do. Like they, make money, work. Luxembourg is more of like you keep working like 9 to 5, 9 to 6, even 9 to 7 for some people, and most of them they eventually like travel to other like spend their money traveling around the
I
world
mean,
during the break.
that's why they make money.
I missed France in the sense that I can go to the south. There's always something new. I can go to the the east or other parts of France, and there's always. I've not even finished exploring France as I am right now. I've never been to the south of France, so there's that opportunity when you're when you're in France. But Luxembourg, sometimes I might be free, like maybe a Saturday, but I still want to go. It's the same place. Like I mean, for just one day, you wouldn't want to fly out of Luxembourg to go.
You just want to
Spend
go
your money. You just want to
somewhere
go
else, a
somewhere, but
neighboring
it's the
city.
same place. So that's the one
For
thing
me,
that I
it was
know.
different. The things I would have missed were cheese and some good white
But they
red
don't have
wine.
cheese in Luxembourg.
They do.
Okay.
So there was no reason to miss it.
there was no reason to miss that.
For me, the life in France is rugged. So when I found the tranquility in Luxembourg, nothing can ever go wrong with Luxembourg. I fell in love with the country.
Yeah. I mean, I fell in love with Luxembourg as well. That leads me to my next question. Like, would you prefer to spend the rest of your life in Luxembourg or spend the rest of your life in France if you had only those two options?
That's a no-brainer. I stay in Luxembourg. That's a no-brainer. I stay in Luxembourg. We die there.
Yeah.
No, Nigeria, we die.
Aside the administrative problems, do you know Luxembourg have their own too? Administrative.
No, they are one of the smoothest. They have one of the yes.
Really?
Compared to France is nowhere close to Luxembourg in administration.
If we remove the administrative problems in France, if I'm in France and I have everything that I need, I have my my papers are complete, or maybe I have the citizenship or something, I feel like I would prefer to stay in France because every little like 1 week holiday or 3 days, if I have kids or something, or even if it's just me or my significant other or anything, we can always go to another part of France. We can go to a neighboring city in Paris. We can always like move if we don't want
do the
to,
same thing from Luxembourg.
If we don't want to splurge, like taking a flight to go to.
I mean, I can move from Luxembourg and choose to go to the north of France, the south of France. I mean,
but the journey is longer than just taking like
it's a matter of a train. You just take a train into France and then voila.
Yeah, personally, I'd rather want to visit Luxembourg than living in Luxembourg for the rest of my life. It just 6 months in Luxembourg. It's not like the 6 months were like so boring, but I just didn't see myself living in Luxembourg for the rest of my life and having kids. I feel like now that I'm still young, I would love to stay in Luxembourg for also for like another 5 years, and then when I get the bag, then I can now think of what else I want to do.
I think in the current needs in my life right now is stability and tranquility, and Luxembourg offers that.
Yeah.
So I'm not even seeing the red flags you're mentioning.
No, there are no red
expensive.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
Well,
life in France is cheaper.
Another thing is, sorry I caught you. The sense that if you want to live somewhere for the rest of your life, I'm already thinking of, I'm gonna buy a house one day. I'm going to but Luxembourg, buying a house.
If you're earning in Luxembourg, you can still buy a house in Luxembourg. The only problem you have is when you're earning in France and trying to buy a house in Luxembourg. It's not logical. So
when you're
the minimum wage in France is lower than that of
you
Luxembourg.
have more options in France for like going for smaller city in the village.
You have that in Luxembourg as well. You have really smaller cities.
People that have money. Like, okay, my Italian friend and I, when we were in Luxembourg, like she was living in a very small village as well. and then the houses they were like so luxurious. And she was telling me that, oh, do you know how much this house is going for? I think one of them was for sale and everything. And she mentioned it in millions. She was like, oh, in Italy, this house is going to be like in hundreds, like, and it's like in millions. So even though there are like options of, oh, you can buy a house in Luxembourg, there's so many people that want that same house. So the highest bidder always gets it. I'm not saying I'm never gonna be rich to the extent of affording a house eventually, but I just feel like I'm gonna have to like work my ass off. I just feel like the things I can attain if I stay in France for the rest of my life. I just feel like for me, it's not like I'm tied to France. It's just that I just feel like I stayed in Luxembourg. I like the vibe. I like the hustle life, but I'm a travel person. I like to explore, but if I don't have enough things to explore, it's the same things over and over. I get bored. So I would rather choose that kind of lifestyle over the money in Luxembourg.
For me, it's the money and the rich vibe.
Yeah, I'd rather choose that, like a little bit of fun, a little bit of like.
I'll go have fun somewhere else and come back to my peace.
I don't want to be traveling up and down.
No. That's the fun of it. That's what I like.
I hope as you're watching this video, you are already like kind of picking out advantages, because we're not like necessarily going to say, oh, these are the advantages, this.
I like what I like, she likes what
I have
she
what
likes,
I like,
so
and we are not like, we are different people.
Exactly.
We have our own like personal choices
and our goals and the things we want in the long term.
And these things can eventually change. Because we're saying it at this point, that's based off my age.
I don't mind staying in France, but
at the moment, the way you are thinking is like, oh, I've been in Luxembourg, I just want to remain here. At the moment, I'm also thinking, oh, I'm in France, I'd rather stay here than stay in Luxembourg. But who knows, if I get an opportunity and someone gives me a CDI is a like permanent job contract, I get it in Luxembourg, I sign out the contract, I'm off there, like.
And maybe if I have something also in France, staying in France, I'll probably stay, but grudgingly.
Yeah, but you will still stay.
Grudgingly.
So, it's not like we hate, like, any of the countries. We're just giving you we're just speaking from our own different perspectives.
Yeah.
Now, I have a different question, because to be honest, I have lots of people in my DM asking me, can you choose for us Luxembourg or France? I'm like, I'm not in the position to like choose for you and tell you that go to Luxembourg or like go to France or anything. But what advice would you give someone if you were asked that same question? Because now I told them I'm sorry, I'm based off my videos. You can deduce which one you want to go to, but do you have like specifics, like
for somebody who wants to
decide on which of the countries,
choose between France and Luxembourg?
Maybe as a student or as a job seeker or something. Even some people have asked me about asylum. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know how it works.
Honestly, first of all, it's just like what she said. It's up to your personal choice. But based on what we've shared, differences, advantages and disadvantages, I would honestly say if you're looking to start your career and you want to get a higher pay, a place where you can grow into a stable economy that can give you job security, where you can earn and plan your life ahead, I think Luxembourg is the place, because you're allowed to grow. The job market is very versatile and you can grow. You can move from this sector to this sector easily. In France, you can't, because you have a lot of people already. It's really overpopulated and they really prioritize their citizens in France more. But in Luxembourg, because of the attraction from different nationalities, you're not really stereotyped as you're not Luxembourgish, or they just cut you off because you're not from there. In France, that is very possible. It's higher. But in Luxembourg, they welcome people from different places. So I would say you should go to Luxembourg, although it's not easy. On the other side, if you're looking to have a social life while working and you want to earn not so much within your means to still plan your life, France is the place for you. So either of the two can work for you, but it depends on what you really want. What are your projects in front of you? And even if I was younger, I think I would always want Luxembourg. So it's all up to you.
To kind of give a disclaimer based off what she just said, she mentioned the fact that, if you want to still earn below or something, stay in France. Doesn't mean that everyone that is staying in France is like earning like less. I'm sure there are many people in France that are working in like industries and sectors where they're like earning more than what some people in junior roles in Luxembourg are probably
Yeah, but it's all
earning.
about the role. A junior person in France is definitely earning lower than a junior person in Luxembourg.
Yeah, and that's because the standard of living is
Yeah,
different.
a senior
So the
person in
things,
France
okay.
will also earn lower than a senior person in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
But then there's no difference, because if you're earning, for example, 3K in France,
you're
rich. You're actually
you're
rich.
rich because if you're earning 3K per month, you can get a house and everything. Your
very
bills per
comfortable
month
house
can be like 1.5, and you
and
still
you
be
can
able
still
to
have
save
savings
like
of and
1,000
still
or
travel and do
500
a
and
lot of
still
things.
travel.
But with 3K in Luxembourg, you're paying that 1.5 for your bills is your rent
as a single person,
Yes,
not a family.
exactly.
So as a family, maybe 2,000. But you will also have, in both countries, you have opportunities of getting like aids. Maybe
if you have a family, you have more advantage
if you have
somebody who is
children
single.
and everything. But it's not like you just come bam and
It
quickly
will
start
happen
looking
like
for
that too.
family and thinking that it's all these things are like long processes, and you have to be eligible because you must have been paying taxes for a number of years. And already we've made some comparisons, just unconsciously we've made some comparisons, but now we want to talk about like maybe more precise comparisons. France, Luxembourg.
Yeah, administratively, Luxembourg is way
less
better,
complicated. Okay.
Yeah, way better than France.
French
and
administration is
transportation.
Is free. Yeah, transportation is free.
Transportation is free.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I said that in the video that I made about Luxembourg. I'll link that video up here as well. I talked about advantages of living in Luxembourg. That time I was still living in Luxembourg. So go and watch that video because that was my, unbiased opinion about living in Luxembourg.
In France as well, I think even if you're paying for transportation, it's not something that will choke your neck if you're working legally.
Yeah, if you're working,
it's something you can do, and then you have the right to get a slash in your transportation you can get from where you're working, 50%. So if you're paying like 80 euros every month subscription for your tram or your metro in France, you submit the proof of payment to your employer. You get to pay only 40 euros instead of 80 euros. So
for some cities, I know about Lille because I'm living in Lille. For some cities, there's even like an opportunity to even get even way lesser reduction if you fall within a certain age, which I just started benefiting from. It's more like a CAF for transportation. So you get slashes like that, which are very fair compared to many other countries in Europe. Another thing I just thought about is the security. I think Luxembourg is a lot more secured in the sense of like you don't just you will necessarily not have someone come rob you at night or those type of things. Because one of my friends yesterday was still saying how he got attacked and got attacked in France, in Lille, got attacked. In Paris, people get attacked as well, and in Marseille, everywhere. Like in Lille or France, I think you can get pickpocketed. But he got attacked. Got his new phone got taken from him, and he was like hit on the head. So yeah, but he's fine. So things like that in broad daylight, not broad daylight, I think it was around midnight, 1 a.m. ish. So of course it's an odd hour, but that doesn't give anybody the right to steal from me. But Luxembourg, you might necessarily not have.
I did a lot of nightlife in Luxembourg, so and there was nothing like that.
Yeah. Another last thing maybe from me that I would talk about is that in France, even if you're not like overly educated, have the right papers and everything, you can still find something to do to survive. You can still find somewhere to run to. You can still find
assistance social.
Yeah, assistance social, Pôle emploi that can help you look for job. You can actually still do menial jobs like you can, but Luxembourg,
you can in Luxembourg, although I don't have information on that because I've never really explored it. I've read that they have their own assistance social, but it's usually for immigrants. So immigrants that are having issues with settling in, something like that. But I really don't know. But I don't think the Luxembourgish government helps the citizens as much as France does.
Yeah.
In France, you have
the social security,
you have your house being paid. I don't think any country even practices this.
No.
France is the only country that practices paying part of your
house
rent.
The way in Luxembourg, transportation is totally free. In France, you can get to pay, like the government pays half of your half rent for you, if even more than half. Sometimes
if you're earning below,
even if you are earning generally and you're paying, and
if you earn more than 2K, you cannot.
Oh, if you earn more than 2K, you cannot. Oh, I didn't know that.
That's why they always ask you to
Close to that.
submit your resources to see that.
To see that you still qualify. Oh wow! So when you start earning above, I thought it was like, you know, as long
Not
as you're
everybody,
young.
oh.
And oh wow, I didn't know that. That's just everything from me. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Also, for the girls or the boys trying to come into one of these countries and you're expecting to find a man or a woman, Luxembourg is not a place for you, because everybody there is a flirt and nobody's in for anything serious. I think the chances of getting or finding love is higher in France because we have a lot of immigrants in France.
It's a bigger country as
bigger
well.
country, and people are open to interracial marriages and relationships. Regardless, you can still find people that are not cool here. But in Luxembourg, the chances are very.
Anyway, if you have more questions about, you know, relationship and things about lifestyle, Luxembourg, my friend Jojo is going to have a channel very soon, and I'll make it available in the description box when it is available. So feel free to reach out to her on our channel and engage, subscribe. I think that's going to be the end of this video. If you have enjoyed watching, please give it a thumbs up
and subscribe.
Please subscribe to the channel. Please share this video with your entourage, people you know that want to travel to Luxembourg, to France, to Europe. Just, you know, it's my interest them. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.